everybody. This is Jeana Kubik, one of the Gamble educators, live from Saxe, Texas. And today we're going to talk about drawing patterns. Specifically, we're going to learn how to draw a point-to-point triangle. Just waiting to see if anyone is here. Just kind of watching for some people to come. We'll give everybody another minute or so before we start, and then we'll get down to it. But Creative Studio is such a powerful tool that you want to learn to take advantage of it. Everyone that has an Elevate or a Statler can design patterns. Hey, Anita's here and Janet is here and Mildred. So hello to everyone. So glad to see you all. Creative Studio can be used for so many things, and it's so powerful. Today we're going to talk about drawing a point-to-point triangle. Hey Holly, hey LaDonna, I see you guys are here. I'm going to switch my camera around to get started to show you a little bit of Creative Studio. So I'm going to swivel it around, and then I'll adjust it here just a little bit so that you can see a little better. There we go. Ava, hey Ava, and Rebecca. So nice to see everybody out there. It's so nice to be able to communicate. At least we can communicate virtually in this crazy time with this virus. But today we're going to talk about drawing a point-to-point triangle. And as you see on the screen, I have drawn a right triangle boundary. And that's really the key to the secret of drawing a point-to-point triangle. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well. The first thing you're going to do is up in the very top, you can access draw boundary up there, but you can access all your draw features from the top with the drop-down menu, or you can also access your draw features from the tool strip. And so we can draw a boundary up here, or we can get to it here, just depending on whether you're an icon person or a drop-down person. Either one is fine, just whatever you're more comfortable with. So I clicked on Draw Boundary, and I also have my grid snap turned on, and the grid snap is down at the bottom of your screen. You can see that grid snap is on if it's toggled green. And if I highlight the little caret next to it, you can also see that I have grid snap on. And you also know, because every time I move the cursor, the little pink dot jumps to a grid. So if I have it on, it makes it easy to draw very nice square edges or triangles. And I can click a beautiful right triangle and then right click to get out of the draw boundary, and then right click again to turn off the draw feature altogether. Now I use the right triangle because I like to draw just half of a point-to-point triangle, because I would never be able to duplicate it on the other side. So I'm going to use another Creative Studio tool to duplicate on the other side. So it's very, very easy. The first thing, we'll try drawing with lines. We'll try drawing with a few different things today just for fun. And again, you can access any of the draw features in your drop-down menu up above, or you can also access them with your tool strip. There's your draw line. And notice I still have grid snap on, which is what I want. And because I would like my first point to snap to the grid right here, because I'm going to make a point-to-point triangle, and we know that we have to snap it to certain points so that we can get it to start on the left and end on the right on the same horizontal plane. And so I'm going to snap it to this grid so that I know. So I'm going to go ahead and click here. And after I do that, I'm going to turn off grid snap by simply pressing the letter S on my keyboard or using the toggle switch on the screen. And oh, I just saw Cheryl here from Anthony, Texas, got a Statler delivered yesterday. Congratulations. Welcome to the family. Yay. So I'm going to continue drawing with my mouse. I'm going to keep left clicking, and I'm just going to click and draw lines all up and down. I can do all kinds of crazy lines, whatever I want, because I know if I don't like what I do, I can always rearrange it. Now, when I get up toward the top of the triangle, I want to turn back on grid snap again by hitting the letter S or the letter G. That's our hotkeys for turning on grid snap. And I'm going to click again. Then I'm still in draw, so I will right click to end that drawing and right click to get out of the draw feature. Now I know I'm out of the draw feature because I don't have a plus sign anymore where my cursor is. I have simply an arrow, pardon me. Now, all I have to do to make a point-to-point triangle is highlight what I've already done. I can rearrange this if I want to by going to nodes. And if I want to stretch any of these to certain places, of course you want to turn snap off or they're going to snap to grids, but I can rearrange the nodes if I want to make it look more acceptable to me. Or I can just say, well, let's see how it's going to look. And I've highlighted it, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to drop down to the mirror function and select that, and it will give me a direction. And it says click the first point on the CAD. And I like to go ahead and have grid snap back on when I do this because I like to get right along the line that I would like to mirror it across. And so it says click second point, and boom, I have now almost made a point-to-point triangle. But you can see that there's one problem. I started on the left and it ended up here. And this one started on the right and ended up high as well. So let's fix it. All we have to do with Creative Studio is highlight the first one and select the order join command up on the tool strip that looks like a chain link. And it will put it in the right stitching order. And after we do that, we can combine the patterns. And now we have a perfect point-to-point triangle that we can right-click and save to our database. And we can give it a new name. And I'll just call it point-to-point 1 for now. And you can save it to your database and your project if you want, and then it will appear up in our patterns. And now we could use that to draw pattern with. Now, drawing lines can make some real cute patterns. Here's another example of a pattern with draw lines. And remember, after you draw with grid snap on in each corner, you take grid snap off and just draw lines all the way up. And then you're going to mirror it. And so then you would right click on your pattern and you would drop down to mirror, and it asks you to click anywhere on the vertical line that you want to mirror and another place on that vertical line. And again, we have another point-to-point pattern we have created. But don't forget, both of them start on the sides and end on the top. So you do need to highlight the first one and select the order join feature so that they order join. And then we can save it just like before. Now, this one over here, I drew in a different manner. This one I drew with draw curve. So this particular pattern, I'm going to do another one, but this particular pattern is drawn with the draw curve feature. So I'm going to go and let's try another one. Let's go to draw curve. And again, leave snap on while you do the bottom left-hand corner, and then turn snap off by hitting the letter S. And you can just draw curves all over the place. And at first, it may not look like something that you're going to really want to keep, but just wait. We're going to fix this all up. When you get near the top, remember, snap back on and grid snap to the grid. And then I'm going to right-click to get out of draw, and right-click again to exit the draw feature altogether. So now with curve, I can look at my nodes again and I can rearrange, which makes it nice. Make sure you turn snap off before you start rearranging, or the little nodes will snap all the way to a grid. But you can use these pink nodes and these teal nodes to rearrange. You can pull on the teal nodes. They're kind of like a marionette string, as you can see here. And so I can rearrange to make this something that may be more what I want, or maybe I decide to pull one of those nodes way over here and move this node way over here and then stretch. I can move this all around until I decide it's going to be kind of neat. But even some of the ones that you don't think are going to be neat turn out really fun. Now, this I just stretched while I was talking and wasn't even planning too much with it. But if I right-click and I say mirror, and then I turn my snap back on here to get on that nice vertical grid, I have now created a point-to-point pattern. And maybe I still want to rearrange it, or maybe I'll go ahead and save it as is. I'll highlight the first one, we'll order join it, and then you need to right click and combine it, or save it so that it will combine it as well. The one that I did over here on the left, I can go in and mirror that one as well. This gets to be so much fun. You are really going to enjoy creating and making all these patterns. But remember, after you do it, make sure you order join and then combine them, or save them at that time, and that will also combine them as well. So that is a lot of fun. And you have other draw tools. Don't forget, try this with all the draw tools. Try this with draw arc. Again, first click on the corner, the lower corner, and then turn your snap off. And you can draw all kinds of things in draw arc. And don't forget, you're going to be able to go back and rearrange this with your nodes. So don't worry too much about it if you go over the lines. It's okay. Now I'm going to finish it up there and left click on the top. And then I'll right click to close drawing and exit the feature. So before I want to mirror this one, what you might notice is that every arc is a different pattern. And so that I don't disconnect them, the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and order join the half that I do have and combine that group of patterns. One little extra step that you have to do with the draw arc. Oh, and someone's asking me, how do you come up with appropriate names for all the new designs you make? That gets to be fun. Just you can name them whatever you want, whatever they look like, or you can just name them point to point 1 or 9 or 57 until you decide, oh, it's a good one. I'm going to use it a lot. I better give it a much nicer name. But it is good to have the point to point. I usually put that at the beginning so that I can search for points to point that way. And then when I do save it, I also mark it as a point to point pattern. I'll show you how to do that also in a minute. But this one, I'm going to go to nodes view because I went over the line. I'm going to turn off snap. As you see, I had snap on and then it went crazily over there. And I'm going to just pull until I like this pattern and get it off the bottom here as well. And I can rearrange this to my heart's content. I can move things around, and you can save several versions of it and see which one you like. We'll try that one and see how that is. Let me pull this just a little bit in there to make a different kind of thing there. And we'll go ahead, we'll right click, we'll select mirror, and now we're gonna turn our snap back on so we can get right on the vertical line and mirror that pattern. Again, the first thing you want to do is order join, and then you want to combine. Now, someone had asked about naming it. When we right click and we go down to save, we want to go ahead and give it a new name. So you might want to call it point to point swirl or anything like that, but make sure that you pick a pattern type of point to point here, and that also gives you more searchable things. If it's a holiday pattern, you can add other keywords like Christmas or New Year's. And then when you do save, it will be saved for you with all those searching abilities as well. So this is so much fun. And as you can see, we can make point-to-point patterns, and you can make millions of them here and have fun doing it. And some of them, some of the patterns I make, I say, oh, I like it. And some of them I say, oh no, and delete it. So don't worry about it if you need to delete it, but sometimes you're gonna find some really, really cool designs that you've made. Some of them will really turn out neat. And so after you have done the order join and combined and you save them, then you can go up to your screen and use them to draw a pattern with. And that is one of the most fun features, because these triangles that you've just made can create very neat designs, and you can make alternative things with it. Now, we just made this really quick and in a hurry, but it can make a very interesting block. So I hope that this is helping you, and I love to draw patterns, and so get in Creative Studio and play. Open up your SAM and just create things. You can do it. I'm not a pattern designer, but I do it all the time, and the more you do it, the more fun you'll have, and you'll be able to make things that you can use on your machines for your Elevate and for your Statler. So I hope, thank you. I hope that this has helped, and have fun with it. Thank you all so much for coming out. These little tutorials are a lot of fun to do, and it's fun to get to see everybody, their faces coming up and their names popping up on the screen. So you all that know me know if I could, I'd give everybody a great big hug and a big Texas welcome. Well, thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope this helped you start to play. Get out there and play with Draw. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.